While we have meat on the smoker for the next 5-6 hours for another episode, let's make a focaccia for our snack.
Yeah, and I'm truly
I know, it's always like that with you.
hungry right now, so that's a great idea.
True, and this is going to be a good one. 425 milliliter of lukewarm water. We're going to give it a teaspoon of sugar, just to feed our yeast. 8 grams of dry yeast. And we're going to give that a good stir. Now we put that aside to proof. And while that proofs, we can mix up our dry ingredients, not that there are many. 500 grams of type 00 wheat flour, 13.5% protein, I think, quite strong. And 15 grams of sea salt. And I'm just going to mix it well here with my dough scraper so we don't have any big chunks of salt lying around, because we're not going to knead this dough. It's way too high hydration. 85%, by the way. And now we just have to wait a little bit for our yeast to proof. My wife just had an epiphany.
One of many, I might add.
True. We're actually going to add a tablespoon of dried oregano to our flour mixture here. That will make some great taste in this focaccia, just to give it some...
We need to try that, so
Exactly.
we don't know, but we hope it will.
Give it some extra flavor here. This is going to be quite a Mediterranean mixture of... There we go. That will give great flavor to this dough, I'm sure. Our yeast is nice and alive. We have nice foam on the top. That's what you want to see. If it doesn't do that, throw it and start over. So simply mix that in like this. And then we give it 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Not exact measurements here, just 2 squirts. 2 spritzes, yeah. And then with a tablespoon, we mix everything in. This is, as said, 85% hydration, so this is going to be very sticky. But that's the whole idea about focaccia. Make sure everything's well combined. And when it starts to combine like that, we take a dough scraper here, scrape down the sides so we get all the flour in. And flip it over a couple of times. So we make sure we have no dry spots or anything here. And then we leave it there and we cover it up and let it rest for probably half an hour or until doubled in size. Let's see how our dough is doing. And it's about doubled in size, so it's time to give it a flip and fold. So go in with a wet hand because it's very sticky. And then we're just going to give it, pull it up, flip it over itself, maybe 4 or 5 times. And then we tuck it around like this into a taut round ball. That's all. We cover it one more time and we give it another half hour. Inside our dough, we're going to add sun-dried tomatoes and our smoked cheese.
See link below how to do that. Extra delicious.
Super, that's what I wanted to say, super delicious. But I don't want all of it because that would be too much. So I'll take about half of this and then I want to cube it up in small cubes actually, so we can get it mixed evenly throughout the dough. I'll show you how to do that. I'm just going to split them like this and give them into small dices, not too big. Last time actually we did this, I made them a little bit too big. That was difficult with the dough. All cubed. Let's get them into a bowl here. I'm taking sun-dried tomatoes on the board and then I'm going to give them a nice fine mince. For our toppings, we're going to use green olives this time. These are pitted and sliced. And then we're going to use some cherry tomatoes. I just think we're going to give them, cut them into 3, I would say. So we want them to be, they can cook with the focaccia. Plus we will have quite many of these on top because that's the good stuff.
That's my favorite.
I know.
I force you to use many.
Time for our second flip and fold. And look how beautiful that is. And now we are going to take some of our cheese here, about maybe a third of it. and spread it on top, sort of evenly. And some of our sun-dried tomatoes. Same idea. Something like that. And then with a wet hand, we start our flip and fold. So we get all of this into the dough and incorporate it. So once we have that in, we take some more cheese and some more sun-dried tomato. This is going to be a really flavorful one this time. And we flip that over to mix everything in well. When this is nice and combined, and we're going to take a large cast iron skillet, and we're going to add a generous amount of olive oil, I would say half a cup, 125 milliliter, something like that. It has to be covered fully, because that's where the crust is going to come from. And then we flip out our dough, straight into the middle here. Don't worry about the cheese coming out, that will be absorbed into the dough. A little bit of oil on top here. And then we start to dimple this out as much as we can, because now the dough's stressed because of the folding. But we just want to flatten it now. And don't be worried about the amount of oil. That's what makes focaccia good. Now we're going to cover it with the lid and leave it for half an hour to 40 minutes until it spreads out and fills up the pan completely. Ooh, looking good.
Ooh, that baby has grown.
Perfect. So now we want to arrange our toppings here. I just don't want to throw them on, because then you can't get them spread, then they will just end up in a chunk in the middle. I don't want that. I want to arrange them a little bit nicely here. And I don't want to push them too much down, because I don't want to deflate now. We have a lot of nice gas in this dough that will make a beautiful fluffy focaccia. And on with the olives. I think I can do this a little bit faster because they spread easier. You could use black olives also if you like. We did that last time, but now we felt like green olives.
Another time we should do something like with ham, prosciutto, or
Easy, you could do that, yeah.
bacon or something. Yeah. Another time.
Bacon. I like bacon. I have homemade bacon. And now we're going to load this into a preheated oven at 250 degrees, and look, our new cabinet with an electrical oven that actually goes all the way to 300 degrees, so it's very nice.
The new gadget.
The new gadget.
In the family.
In the family, yes. And first time we're using it actually. So this goes in and it fits right there. And we let that go for probably half an hour, but we will see when it starts sizzling, then we know it's ready. 25 minutes and it's looking really, really good. So let me get my gloves on here so I can take it out. Take a look at that. That is just beautiful. Now we're gonna let that cool down a little bit so we can give it a taste. This looks fantastic.
I see your smile.
I'm looking forward to this. So let's cut a triangle out of it. Ah, listen to that crunch down there. Ooh. That's just fantastic.
That's it.
Let me show you here. See if I can turn it around.
Nice.
That's just beautiful. I don't need a fork for this. That's just so good. With the cheese in the dough, the sun-dried tomatoes, they come through with that deeper flavor of tomato, and with the fresh tomatoes on top. This is really excellent. You should give this a shot.